Last day of the Christmas season, I wanted to offer you one more thought about this time of year. Especially here in Southern California, where so many of us come from different places. Everybody and their culture has a particular way they celebrate Christmas. Especially with the kind of food they serve, right? Every culture has its own particular food that you're supposed to have at Christmas. And the challenging thing is when you have new members of the family who may not share that particular tradition, and trying to offer them whatever it is that's traditional in your family. It could be a new boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever it is, somebody brings home, and you offer them something that's near and dear to your heart, a food that's been part of your tradition for generations, and you can see the look on their face. It's unfamiliar. There's a weird spice to it. It smells funny, whatever the reason. And they may very politely take a little piece from grandma. And that's usually about it sometimes. Tamales are a different story. That's the success story, the exception that proves the rule. Other than that, I think every family is resigned to the fact that these outsiders just don't appreciate the good stuff. Today, on the Feast of the Epiphany, we celebrate the greatest success story of outsiders who not only appreciate something intended only for a small group, but they made it their own. They found a place for themselves. And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about the birth of Jesus. Because the birth of Jesus, as far as the people in Jerusalem knew, was really only for them. His birth was foretold by Jewish prophets. He was going to be the leader who would make the kingdom of Judah famous. He would set his people free. But here come these outsiders, these foreigners, these three Magi from the East. And they are so convinced by the appearance of that star that they are willing to go 110% for this new baby boy, ready to go wherever it leads them, even if it's to this out-of-the-way place called Bethlehem. It would be like relatives coming into town from another country here to LA and wanting to go to Fresno. Completely out of the way. But they were willing to do so because they were convinced this baby was something special. And not only were they willing to go out of their way, they brought their gifts, which have become famous now. Their gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. These gifts which are famous because they symbolize different things about this baby boy. The gold showed that these Magi knew he was a king. The frankincense, which is something you burn as you pray, showed they knew he was God. And the myrrh, which is used to prepare a body for burial, meant that even despite those other two gifts, they knew he was human and he would someday have to die. And so these three gifts, the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh, have been remembered down through the centuries because they sort of serve as a prophecy about who Jesus was and who he was going to be. So contrast these three outsiders with a different outsider, King Herod. Because he's not Jewish either. He's just been put there by the Romans to keep the Jewish people in line. He doesn't know their traditions. And that's why he has to ask the priests and the scribes about these prophecies that deal with this newly born king. He doesn't think it belongs to him. Has nothing to do with him at all. And the reason this is all relevant for us is because we also are outsiders. Most of us don't have Jewish parents. And so the Feast of the Epiphany is a chance for us to see ourselves in front of the crib. A chance for us to pay our respects, to celebrate the fact that Jesus is offered to us as well. But really, we have a choice. Our choice is to be one of two different kinds of outsiders. We can be like King Herod and see this baby in the crib as sort of an inconvenience. Maybe even feel threatened. What's it going to do to my free time? Am I going to have to change the way I think about the world, about politics? Am I going to have to come out of my comfort zone? Or we can be outsiders like those three Magi, welcomed into this different family with its own strange traditions, but made to feel at home. St. Paul says in our second reading today that we Gentiles are co-heirs, members of the same body and co-partners in this great gift of Jesus Christ to the world. But we have to accept the offer. If there's anything that we should learn from Jesus coming into our world as a little baby, it's that he doesn't come in with force, with strength, with all of his might. He comes in as a little helpless infant who needs to be welcomed, who needs to be accepted. And the invitation is to us. Are we going to accept it? Or to put it another way, it's like that grandmother with those ethnic delicacies that she offers to the outsider in the family. We're not being forced, but we are made very welcome to be part of this family, to partake of what's being offered to us. If we accept, like those three Magi did, then maybe we need to offer gifts also. Maybe. Maybe not gold and frankincense and myrrh, but something else that's important to us. Something that has meaning to us. Maybe the gift of time. Our time is so valuable, so precious. Can we carve out just a few more minutes each day to spend in prayer? What a great gift that would be. Or maybe we have some skill or some talent, or maybe just offering a little bit of help to somebody who needs it. If we could try and do that every day, or as much as possible, what a great gift we would be laying at the feet of Jesus. But whatever gift is ours to give, it needs to be a gift, freely given, the way Jesus gave himself. We have been offered a great gift, to no longer be outsiders, but to be welcomed in as part of the family. Maybe in this new year, we can commit to loving one another as family and to sharing the good news of salvation with others who still might feel like they are outsiders.